Hey guys, I got another programming case study. Check it out.
Oh, Nilbert, how you doing?
Hi, how are you? You said you could help me.
Good.
I'm
Yeah,
flying.
what are you trying to do? You're just trying to install some the drivers for the J2534?
Yes, into the Toyota's website, but I don't. It's a mess. I can't do it. I got
Really?
my
Okay.
viewer up if you'd like to look at it.
Okay, go for it. Go ahead and
You guys want to see how I helped them? You want to see what mess these OEMs have to put us through? Let me lower this thing. Let's jump into this, guys. This is actually really cool. I'm going to share with you the case study on how I helped my client install the Toyota Techstream software. For those of you who don't know, my name is Kurt, the Autel Consultant, and I specialize in the sales, the technical, the software, and the hardware, and the J2534 consultation and training. So to start, we are working with the Maxisys Elite, which is a stage 3 tool. Stage 3 tools come with the J2534, and the client is in the auto body repair industry. He's working on a Toyota Camry 2019, and he needs to calibrate the forward recognition sensor. Now, just to give you a bit of background, this client, his brother hired me like 5 years ago. He was actually my very first client. He didn't know anything about programming, and his brother, the guy that owns the auto body repair shop, called me and was like, "Hey, Kurt, I'm trying to install the Toyota software." He called the Techstream customer support, and they consulted him a certain way, and then he called Autel because I guess there was a J2534 driver for that Autel that was missing. Autel, they downloaded the J2534 driver, but he still couldn't get the software to work. All right, and this is what I was telling a lot of people. There's a gray area that nobody takes responsibility, and it leaves a lot of people, in limbo. All right, so my goal was just to, assist the client with the installation and the configuration with the Techstream software. All right, now a little bit about Toyota Techstream. Why I like it is because, for those of you who may not know, a lot of the OEMs, they just offer programming software. Okay, there's some like Toyota that offer diagnostic and coding software. So in events that let's say our scan tool is not able to do like a VIN writing procedure or a particular procedure, you can default to the Techstream software, and you're getting OEM level diagnostic capability. For example, the forward recognition camera that this client's working on, you can calibrate it. You can print out the target and use the software to calibrate that sensor. You can do key coding if you have a locksmith license. You can have access to the ADAS calibrations. You can do active tests. You can change personalized settings. There's a lot of stuff you can do with this. You can do the OCS sensor sensitivity check and calibrations. A lot of stuff you can do. So if you're in the auto glass industry and Toyota is a big client of yours, or if you're a mobile mechanic, that caters to the auto body repair industry, if you're in the auto body repair industry, this is a software that would be a really good part of your diagnostic arsenal. All right. So with that being said, this is what we need to start. You need a Toyota Tech Info account, and then you need a J2534 pass-through device and a Windows 10 laptop or PC. So a lot of things that people don't know is I recommend starting off with a brand new tablet. Okay? Because put it like this. Let's say you're dating somebody and this person has like a bunch of extra baggage. Okay? You don't want to take that into the relationship when you guys get married. You want to, start fresh, And it's the same way with these diagnostic tools. Not diagnostic, these computers. You don't want to have, all these programs, because what happens is when you install the software, it conflicts with it. And, you're trying to access, the ECU with the software and it's not going. And then you have to go back and take something off, you know. So I always recommend just start fresh, okay? The computer doesn't need to be, you know, a fancy computer. It just needs to meet the system minimum requirements. And another rule of thumb, a lot of these OEM software, they only like the old Windows Explorer, okay? So like if you go to Ford and you try to open the programming section on the Google Chrome, it doesn't work. And you know, there's Java, it's a lot of stuff, guys. And I can understand why a lot of people buy our tool and just use it as like a coffee table, because you know, you guys don't have time to go through this. It's a very time consuming process if you've never, you know, done programming. So with that being said, here are Toyota's pricing plans. Now, there's two different types. There's one for programming and like their software. It's called the Diagnostic Professional plan. All right, they offer that on a 2-day basis for $65. There's another one called the Standard plan, and this is just for the repair information library. So you can get access to wiring diagrams, technical service bulletins, you know, the repair manuals for the vehicles, and it's $20 for 2 days access. Now, the monthly subscription, unfortunately, they don't offer the Diagnostic Professional plan. They do offer just the standard service information for $90. On the other hand, if you are doing a high volume of Toyotas, you can use the yearly plan at $1,295. All right. The standard plan is $480. Another thing too, the Diagnostic and Professional plan also gives you access to the tech information. So you can, you know, also get your wiring diagrams with the Diagnostic and Professional. And I always tell people, like, start off with the 2-day subscription. You know, the first day, if it takes you a while to get the software installed, at least you have another day to actually implement the programming. And you still can charge a premium. Like, as I said, on average, you can start charging between $120, you know, $150, the high end $200. It just depends on your market demographic, okay? And, you know, it's good to have this skill because, you know, if you live in a place that the dealer is in a remote area, you know, this will save you a lot of time. And, you know, the dealer rapes us pretty much on everything that they do. And, you know, they really don't have your best interest. So, as I said in my previous video, the challenges in programming, getting the right equipment, finding the OEM website, preparing your computer, installing the software, and getting the over-shoulder support. This gray area, which I'm gonna play a clip where you're gonna see exactly what I'm talking about. Nobody likes to prepare your computer. All right, they're gonna take responsibility for their software, but if you call them and if it's not working, they're gonna say, "Oh, you know what? I can't help you. That's you know, your problem." And that just wastes a lot of time. You're not going to be, you know, having a great workflow if you're doing that, you know. But this is a prime example of what I'm talking about. Check this out.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
So when I come here, they're telling me it should populate right here, the J2534. The guys at Autel took the liberty, and I don't know if it was right or wrong, but they did this. They installed this on my computer earlier. But I think that's like a dealership because it's asking me for a dealership login. Why ain't no dealership? And I'll show you what that is on my desktop. It's got an icon, and that icon, when you click on it, it's like dealer. It's asking me, well, what dealer are you? I'm not a dealer. So
I know exactly what he's talking about. All right, this is what he's talking about. So what I did, you guys, I logged into his tablet, and he was going through it, showing me what was the situation, and it's this configuration part. All right. In fact, when I was just doing some casual browsing, a lot of people were getting the same issue. Here's just a random YouTuber. It says, I can't use this. It's asking for a dealership name, the code of the dealership. When first trying to open the software, they're asking me to put it into it there. Where can I find this? They don't tell you. You know what my logic is? There's something called the right to repair, and it's a bill that the government is mandating on these OEMs to give third parties like us the capability to do our own programming and repairs. But let me give you an analogy. Let's say you're watching the game, with your buddies, and then your wife is like, oh, go get me some shampoo from the store. You're not going to be motivated to do that, all right? And I think it's the same way with these OEMs. Like, they're doing this because they have to, and they're not gonna make it easy for us because it's about money. They want us to send the cars to them so they can make money, and that's why a lot of people who go to the dealers, they don't have your best interests. They really don't. So I think that's why they're just showing, hey, government, we have it here, but they're not going to show us how to do it. So it's a huge pain point, guys. Huge pain point. But luckily, I developed this methodology that will ensure a successful programming. So first I prepare the computer, then I will install the software. I'll do the mentorship, and that way my client can prosper. So let's speed this up here, and I'll show you where the glitches began. So the first glitch that I found was right here. Can you see that? All right, this is basically the Toyota Techstream software. I missed it, but it's fine. Yeah, right there. So this was asking for Java. So I had to go back, download Java, and what I also found out, he didn't put, there's a special key that needs to be generated, you get from the website. I had to put that back into the software. He didn't do that either. And, no one's going to teach him how to do that. It's unfortunate. And another thing that I saw, you see at the bottom right, Norton. I hate Norton. You know why? Because it blocks your software, okay? What I recommend people is if you don't do a lot, like I don't have virus scanners on my computer. Like if you're not doing anything dodgy in terms of, your browsing activity, you won't get any viruses, all right? If you have a computer that's dedicated for programming and you just use it for that, you're not going to get a virus, okay? So I think they just do that. When you buy a computer, McAfee and Norton will be installed in it. Just get rid of it. There's actually better ones that do far more better than that one, okay? And then another thing that I saw was when I was trying to configure the J2534, it was freezing, and that's when I actually had to go back in and take Norton off. I completely took it off, all right? And luckily after that I got it working, which you're going to see on this one, and this is where the mentorship comes in, okay? So what I do is after the client has the software installed, I will walk them through the whole procedure, okay? Now, he told me that he was familiar with the procedure because he used the software before, but he just couldn't get it installed on it. So I wasn't, I didn't need to do the whole calibration with him. I just was sharing with him, how to get there and stuff. But that's where the client will prosper, okay? And it just takes a little bit of guidance, guys. If you have the right guidance, it's going to save you a lot of time. And even I do a good amount of programming events. There's always something new that I learn. Always something new. So that's why it's good to always have a mentor. All right. And just to show you, here's a clip, a voice clip of him wishing that he would have hired me before. So let me play it for you guys.
For a little bit, and took it up to him. He,
Really?
yeah, only because I'm one shop. He's got a lot of clients. It's starting to do real well, Curtis. It really is.
Good. That is good.
Are you selling that or no?
Yeah, I do sell them. Like the same price.
We're talking about the ADIS calibration kit.
I think without the tablet, probably like 20,000 or something like that. I mean, I don't know what package you guys got.
So here's what we got. I got everything but the tablet, and I paid 18.
Oh, that's a good deal. That's good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think so, but I tell you what, man, the technical support's worth something. If I tell you, I know we paid you years ago, but if you're good at this, I'll just pay you for your technical support if you're interested. I don't know. I'm serious. Those other guys didn't want to. I'm just so frustrated. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Make it worth
for
a little bit.
So this is what I observed. The more technical you get, buying at the lowest price is always going to result to a higher cost, because when you buy at the lower price, you don't get that technical support. All right. So over time, when you get into situations like this, you're going to be wasting a lot of time trying to figure things out, doing it yourself. All right. So we have to program our mindset that we can't do it alone. Okay. So that's pretty much it, guys. What I'm going to do is just a little Q&A. Let me speed this up. And these are just some common questions that you might be thinking about that I want to address. All right. So first question. I don't know how to use a computer properly. Can you still teach me how to program? The answer is absolutely. All right. The client that my client was talking about, he didn't know anything about programming. You know, mechanically and electronically, he's absolutely amazing. But you know, in terms of software, that skill wasn't developed because, I mean, most of you guys are on the cars. You're not on the computer, you know, doing this type of nerdy stuff. So this is what I can tell you. If you have the mindset that you want to learn it and you can read and press a button, you can be taught this skill. Okay, definitely. The next question, how long does it take to set up and install the OEM software? On average, depending on the manufacturer, I would say 2 to 4 hours. Okay, I can shorten that up because I know where the sites are and I know how to do it, you know, with my eyes closed. But for the average person, you need to allow this much time frame to program, because there's a lot of unforeseen things that you will discover doing this yourself. Okay, but it's good to do this when you're not in a rush, because if you're in a rush, you're not going to learn anything. Like if you call, okay, I got to do this. You know, I know you need to get the car out, but you're not going to learn anything. So just make sure you have a good amount of time to do this. All right. Let's see. What's the worst thing that can happen when programming? You could brick in the ECU. It's that simple. So look, the good thing is there's services that you can send your ECU if it's bricked, and they could fix it. The other thing is you can try to do too, like if you do programming and the ECU doesn't work, you can try to do it again. That usually resolves the issue, but this is a slight risk that you have to go into programming. And usually, in my opinion, it's just the preparation. If you don't have the right preparation, meaning, you know, the battery maintainer, if you don't follow the instructions, you know, you'll dramatically reduce the event of this happening. Okay. I haven't had any experience of this, knock on wood, but it can happen. It is something you need to consider. But don't be scared. All right, don't be scared. Like, you won't get anywhere with fear. All right. Next question: should I program a module if there is an update available? The answer is no. Okay, so let me give you an example. If, let's say I plug in my J2534 and I look at all the modules in the vehicle and I can see that there's updates for all of them. Okay, don't do that. Don't update it, because you will end up corrupting one of the modules. All right, it's not recommended. The only time you need to program a module is if there's a technical service bulletin that requires it. So let me give you an example. Ford, I think the Ford Fiestas, they had something where the transmission would start to go bad, and when the mechanic would put his scan tool in it, it wasn't able to detect an error code because Ford didn't inject an error code in the software. So it would take the mechanic hours to troubleshoot the situation. Now, they had a recall in those vehicles where they would inject that error code, so the next time there is a failure in the transmission, the mechanic would be able to see exactly what it is, and then you could address the problem quickly. Okay, so that's utilizing the technical service bulletin. And the other thing is, like, let's say if you're an auto body repair shop, your airbags are deployed. When you purchase a new airbag module, those are blank, meaning there's no software in it. Okay, that requires a programming event where you need to connect to the OEM site and inject that software into that module. Okay, and then another thing to consider too, after you program certain modules, you need to do, let's say, a follow-up routine, whether it's calibrating that module to the vehicle, what I call like coding. Okay, so yeah, don't update modules if you're not supposed to. Okay, rule of thumb. Next question: why should I learn how to program ECU modules? What I can tell you, it's a skill that we required if you want to sustain a profitable workflow. So what I have seen, a lot of auto body repair shops, they're getting these new vehicles that have a bunch of modules on them, and it's getting to the point where they're sending these things out to the dealer. Like, if you have a big operation, that's going to cost you a lot of money, and some of these dealers, they're not even ethical. Like, let's say you say, I want you to program this module. They'll program that, and then they'll, add on some other things that really weren't needed. Maybe they were, but they won't get your approval, and then you come back with this huge bill, And the other thing is, learning this skill will give you what I call a value proposition. Meaning, a value proposition in my terminology is like, why should I choose your shop versus anybody else? Okay? That's a value proposition. If you can answer that question, then you have a value proposition. And programming is one of them. So like me as a consumer, if I have a programming problem and I go to, Joe Bob, who doesn't have that thing, and if he tells me he has to send it somewhere else, that's not a good experience. Whereas if I know, this other guy who has that ability and he can do everything under one roof, that's just going to add more value to me and to the shop who's doing the programming procedure. And it's a skill that nobody teaches. All right, it's people who do this, they're not going to show you. Okay, as I said, the manufacturers, they don't really have courses on this, and a lot of people have the J2534 and it's just sitting there collecting dust. If you work this, I promise you it's only going to benefit you. Okay, so with that being said, this is what I can offer. Existing clients, $100 per manufacturer. You get the lifetime over-the-shoulder training, and anytime you have a programming event, I can assist you. The general public is $200 for one installation, and you get 3 follow-up programming consultations. Okay, so as I said, I really want to make sure that everybody will learn how to program. I'm not just going to let you install the software and leave you alone. You're going to be able to program. That I can guarantee you. And then the advanced, if somebody, this happens to a lot of people, they'll buy the tool, on eBay or Amazon, and they'll see my video, and then they're like, oh crap, there's a plan for you. So for $600 a year, I'll give you the tech support, unlimited programming installations and consultations, the training videos, the email setup, the printing setup, the software glitches, the hardware issues. I'll handle all of that, okay? And now it's limited to only 191 people. And after that, I'm going to, as I said, close the tap and, wait until I get everybody trained, and then I'll open it up again or either higher my price. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Give me a call. My number is right up above, and I'll do a full consultation. And yeah, take care. Have a great one. Cheers. Bye.